Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel for another video today. I actually just finished filming the breaking news on the lawsuits that Eli Lilly has filed, and I'm just a little worked up still. So I went and got myself a Lotus this morning, and I am just trying to get through it, right? Aren't we all? Okay. For today's video, now that I'm a little bit calmed down now, I'm a little bit angry, but I'm calmer. We're going to be doing another GLP1 discussions episode today. If you're new here, hi, my name's Brittany. What a welcome I gave you here. I've lost over 100 pounds using branded Mounjaro and then compounded tirzepatide, and I've shared my entire journey here on this channel. Would love to have you subscribe, stick around, leave me a comment, join in on the fun. We have a lot of fun over here. We're really supportive of one another. Everybody's great in the comment section. And so if you want just a really helpful, supportive community, this is the one for you. So hit that subscribe button. The one that I have for you today, I was researching this, or not researching, I was writing my thoughts down on this, because the whole point of these GLP-1 discussion episodes is that we are like thinking within ourselves and speaking more on personal experiences and things that we've noticed since we've lost weight using a GLP-1. So it's not really like research based. It's more like how we feel and what our opinions, and opening up the discussion, right? So as I was kind of like making my notes for this video, I was like in my little head, in my little brain, I feel like this is going to be a good one and a really good topic to have. But I really hope that it comes out in the way that I mean it to. So with that being said, what we're going to be talking about is the focus shift in terms of GLP-1 use. So kind of like what you thought you were getting into with GLP-1 and what you actually ended up getting yourself into. Okay, I hope that makes sense and where I'm going with this. So I also think this is going to be a really good opportunity to explain, to offer some really good advice from myself and from people in the comments, to explain how we approach the topic of GLP-1s to people that are naturally thin or that have never needed something like this in their life. So when we start out, most of us, I would say, on tirzepatide, Mounjaro, Zepbound, Wegovy, Ozempic, any of them, we're doing it for weight loss, right? So we go into it, I'm going to speak for me here. I went into it saying, hey, to my doctor, I heard that this can help you lose weight. Is that true? And if it is, will you please prescribe it to me? And so I didn't know anything, I can say, at that time about how Mounjaro worked, what it was going to do in my body. I basically knew, hey, people online are saying that this will help me lose weight and I need to lose weight, okay? So that's what I went into it thinking. I'm going to lose this weight. I never in a million years would have thought that the journey would have developed into what it has. And I never in a gazillion years would have thought that it would be something that I was saying, oh, I'm going to permanently be on this, or this has changed my life in all of these ways and in all of these different facets of my life. Never would I have thought that, right? And I think that I can speak for a lot of us that when we start, we think we're getting into weight loss. That is even what it is advertised online or on the TV, right? You can lose up to 30% of your weight. That's what the commercials say. They don't really go into all of the other things, right? So we start on this medication and we get going, and within a few months, we start to realize all of the things that GLP-1s are doing within our body. We start to want to research a little bit more. We start to try and figure out. Obviously, it is helping our body to create more insulin, so it is keeping our blood sugar levels stable, reducing cravings, turning the brain off, all of that stuff. But I think that there is such a disconnect between what we think we're getting into and what we actually get into. So for me personally, what I actually got into was a total life flip. Okay. So when I started on GLP-1s, I was very obviously obese. I was highly insecure. I was very not brave. I was very closed off. I had zero boundaries. And I pretty much was the biggest of all people pleasers. If you wanted me to do something, if you wanted me to take down a post I made, if you wanted me to, give you $100, I probably would just have done it. Like, it's just the person that I was. I was not for me. I was for everybody else, because that's what I've been doing my whole life. And that's what I've been taught my whole life. Like, keep everybody else happy, don't have your voice, and just do what you're supposed to do. I started on Mounjaro, I started my channel, and over the first year, my life started to drastically change. And we're not just talking about weight loss here. We're talking boundary setting, cycle breaking, bravery, all of the things that I wasn't able to do before, I suddenly became able to do. And I know that GLP-1s played a big role in that because of the effects that they had on my brain. Now, you hear that GLP-1s turn food noise off, right? But that's kind of what you hear, like your food noise will go away, right? But what does that really mean? Like, what, from somebody who has experienced it, what does that actually feel like? And how does that actually translate into your life? Okay, so for me, again, speaking for myself, please leave your experiences down below. When the food noise, when the constant obsession turned off, if you are not somebody who has ever needed a GLP-1, think this. Think you're walking around all day long, thinking about food. And no matter how much you want to go do something else or to go focus on something else, your brain takes you back to food. Think of it as anxiety. When you are a very highly anxious person, and I take an anxiety medicine, so I can relate the two of these things together because I've experienced them both. When you are anxious and the thing that you are anxious about, you want to stop thinking about, but your brain will not let you stop thinking about it. That is what food noise feels like. Like, you cannot turn it off. Okay, now that I've said that, for the people who might not understand what the food noise is, when that turns off in your brain, when your brain power is not being taken over by the constant obsession about what you're gonna put in your mouth that day, if you're gonna get fat from eating it, all of the thought processes, you have vastly more brain space to not only think about other things, but to process other things. I was not in a space prior to Mounjaro where I could have cut my brother out of my life. I was weak because my other family members were so strongly opposed to me altering the family dynamic and me saying no more that I gave in every single time. I didn't have the brain capacity to fight and to process my feelings in terms of that I just kind of gave it up. And I think there's another point to this, to where I was so insecure because I was really overweight. I had been abused most of my childhood. I never felt like I was loved within my family. And so I did the things that they wanted me to do to gain their love. And it wasn't until I lost the weight, had this sort of brain overhaul through food noise being turned off, that I realized that it all started with me and how I felt about myself in order to go forward in the world and to be the person that I needed to be in the world, right? So what I thought started as simply losing weight evolved into me fixing my brain. And you can laugh at that. You can say that's not true. This is just a peptide, right? But it's true. The brain aspect, I've said it once before, I've said it a million times. I would take the brain aspect over the appetite suppression. Like, you can make me hungry again and I will be able to figure it out. But the brain part is the biggest part. I can focus so much better than I used to be able to. I can stand my ground better than I've ever been able to in my life. I can give my opinions and speak loudly and proudly on them and not get shy and take them down, or not try to take them back, or try to cave to what other people tell me my opinion should be like I used to. And that is because I have evolved into a woman who knows her worth and is able to function in the world the way I was always meant to function in the world. And the Brittany that I was a damaged, abused, no self-confidence, no self-worth Brittany. And I 100% thank ultimately Eli Lilly for discovering tirzepatide, or the benefits of it, and bringing this lifeline, because that's what it is. It's a lifeline to us all. Oprah has done several podcasts on this topic, speaking about how, her life has drastically changed since she has gone on a GLP-1. Not just because she finally lost the weight, but because she feels like she's more respected and more, I have a good comparison here. When I first started YouTube, it was 2020. Yeah, end of 2020, on my other channel. I was not as well received as I am now. And I think that there was several reasons for that. I think one, I didn't look a certain way. I think society is just sort of programmed the way that they are. And I didn't present that way in this beautiful, well put together woman. And so I was not received as well. But also I was very guarded and very harsh and very just not approachable. So for me, GLP-1s have changed my world way more than just weight loss. They have allowed me to develop into myself, to heal. Oh my gosh, to heal. To close doors, to accept open doors. Even so much as YouTube and social media and the life-changing blessing that it has been for me and my family, I would not have thought that was for me. I would not have thought that I was good enough for it. For even in the beginning, the first year or so, I was like, do I really have any value to add to this space? And now I'm like, hells yeah, I got all kind of value. I'm great. Because now I see my own worth. Whereas before I didn't. So it has allowed me to heal, to close doors, to permanently close doors that I will never reopen, i.e. my brother. And to be able to stand my ground on that is really, really impressive in my mind for myself. And then I have been able to help people. I've always wanted to help people. There's always been, my prior time in medical office field, I have always wanted to help people, and I finally feel like I'm able to do that. So I want to hear in the comment section how your journey has evolved from what you thought it was going to be to what it is now. If you told me 2 years ago that I was going to be this person, never in a million. Honestly, I probably would have told you that this isn't going to work. I'm probably going to fail. I'm going to end up fat and be fat for the rest of my life, and also unhealthy and no boundaries and a negative Nancy my whole life. I never would have thought that this was going to work, but it did. And it brought with it all of these other domino effect of things that are just, this is what we have wanted and been looking for forever. All of us fatties have wanted and needed this for years and decades and hundreds of years. Maybe not hundreds, because I don't think they were as fat back then, but we needed this. And that's why we are fighting so hard for the affordability and the access to it, because we need it. It's our lifeline. And I hope that listening to this story, if you are somebody that is not on a GLP-1, never took a GLP-1, doesn't understand, I hope that this helps you to understand a little bit better. It saved my life. 100% using a GLP-1 saved my life. More so in just helping me lose weight. More than helping me just lose the weight. I could go back to being 250 pounds if I got to be this person still within that body. I think that I would be a healthier version of myself still. So all of you people that say that you're not losing any weight on a GLP-1, but how do you feel otherwise? Okay, that's another great topic. Like, do you feel like your life is changing positively in other ways other than just the number on the scale? I want to hear about that too. So let me know what your thoughts are. Thank you guys so much for listening to me ramble again. I hope that you enjoyed it. And I really hope that this came out the way that I meant for it to come out. Yeah. What did you think you were getting into? And what did you get into? Let's talk down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.